It's so ironic. We finally get a good game on Thursday Night Football, and Joe Burrow gets hurt. The great tight end Mark Andrews for the Ravens gets hurt, and Lamar Jackson's limping around. Did not get hurt. But I mean, in both instances, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow got hurt and weren't touched. So I can remember having this discussion years ago with the NFL player Trent Dilfer, and he said by week 4, nobody's healthy. Everybody's banged up. In fact, I had Julian Edelman on my FS1 show today, the former Patriot great, 12-year pro, 3 rings. And he's like, come on, everybody's hurt. You just have to have pain tolerance and get through it. So I will say this, and listen, the smartest guys in the NFL miss all the time during drafts. And I didn't know what Lamar Jackson was going to be. I really didn't know. I don't think anybody did. That's why virtually everybody passed on him. And the Baltimore Ravens got him at the end of the first round. I mean, as good as Russell Wilson was in his prime, everybody passed on him, including Seattle a couple times. Everybody passed on Brady 5 times and 6 in many instances. So there's no great valor in saying, well, you were wrong on a quarterback. Everybody's wrong. The best GMs in the history of the league are wrong. But it became very evident very quickly with Lamar Jackson when he started week 11 of year 1. He was really a unique talent. And I say this all the time, and I would say this. I argued with Jason McIntyre today about Brock Purdy. Every great quarterback in my life, there is something that is special. And with Brock Purdy, there's not. He throws a good ball, not a great ball. There's no wow. With Lamar Jackson, I don't get the critics. I don't get it. When you watch him, he had a couple plays in the first half, one in the second half. It was incomplete. He threw a ball deep into the end zone. It was caught, but out of the end zone. His escapability, his ability to move to his left or his right and keep his eyes downfield, his ability to throw accurately deep when he's running. Lamar Jackson just doesn't play the game like anybody else. And, when he first broke into the league, the knock was, well, he doesn't play well from behind. For the record, almost nobody does. Outside of Pat Mahomes, almost nobody has a winning record playing from behind if they played, at least 50 starts in their career. And now the knock is, well, he can't keep a lead. So we know he can play from behind. Well, he can't hold a lead. He can hold a lead. A lot of that's on the defense. His turnovers are up this year. He can be frenetic. He can play a little bit too fast. But just ask yourself, Herbert, size, wow. Arm strength, wow. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Burrow's accuracy. If your quarterback doesn't have any wow, that was the knock on C.J. Stroud. He was big enough. He was accurate. But it was sort of his comp was Jared Goff. And I had said with Goff, and I still say it, there's not a lot of juice with Jared Goff, but he's really good. And that's C.J. Stroud. His ability to see the field very quickly, recognize and throw the ball accurately. Burrow and C.J. Stroud have the same wow, and it's the ability to accurately throw a football from 45 yards in with dead eye accuracy. That is wow. Drew Brees' wow was accuracy, like threw a tire from 30 yards, regularly, over and over and over. Your wow doesn't have to be size or speed or arm strength. It can be just Drew Brees, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud accuracy. That there's just not that many people can just drop a ball over linebackers in front of safeties, 28 yards on a dime every time. But Lamar's just jumps off the television set. Like when I watch him, I'm like, yeah, I didn't know how it would work. But if you're still denying it, I don't know what you're watching. The guy's won 78% of his games. This is the first year he's had good receivers. He's got a good tight end, but he's had running back injuries and O-line injuries and Ronnie Stanley. And I think the guy's just incredibly special. As far as Joe Burrow, he's injury prone. Cross your fingers. Listen, the AFC's got good teams. The Chargers are under 500. The Bengals are going to be 500. I mean, look at Buffalo right now struggling. I mean, the teams that are struggling in the NFC are like the Commanders or the Giants or the Bears or the Packers. Those aren't good football teams. You got the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chargers. And depending on what happens to the Jaguars, I mean, you got really good teams with 4 and 5 losses in the AFC. It is different, no doubt about it. In the NBA, the games can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know that DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets by just betting $5 on basketball. How good of a deal is that from DraftKings Sportsbook? Win or lose, you get the instant W. Instant. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Please use the code Colin, COLIN. New customers, $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5. The code is Colin, COLIN, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, code Colin. The crown is yours. November is here. We are in the heart of the football season. Hockey and basketball just starting up. Best way to get tickets to any of these games is on Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the United States. Game Time. It's obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. That's what they do. You can find exclusive flash deals, ways to help you save money, sponsored deals on games and concerts on a daily basis. Pretty sweet. With zone deals, you pick the section you want, and Game Time picks the seat. Big time savings there. And with a Game Time guarantee, you'll always get the best price. You'll find tickets in the same section, same row, for less. Game Time will credit 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets and go with Game Time, the fastest growing ticket app in the United States. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. The redeem code is Colin. That's me, COLIN. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. The redeem code COLIN. $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute deals. Lowest priced tickets. Guaranteed. I want to talk about Jim Harbaugh. So Jim Harbaugh has accepted a 3-game punishment. So he will not be able to be on the sidelines for Maryland, where Michigan is a 21-point favorite, and he will not be on the sidelines for Ohio State, where, you know, that has always been a game that you need everything if you're Michigan or Ohio State to win. But I think what's interesting about it is the reason Jim Harbaugh said, okay, I'll accept that because it takes care of the Big Ten punishment. Now it's the NCAA punishment. I do not think it will be that severe. I'm sure it'll be a loss of scholarships. I don't think it's going to be vacating wins and vacating a potential national championship. We'll see. But I always like when a story has a quick resolution, because I can remember years ago when Kobe and Shaq broke up with the Lakers. I was on Team Kobe. And I had said it. And the reason I was on Team Kobe is because I'd been told by somebody in the Lakers organization that Kobe was a better practice player. Kobe was more reliable. Kobe was in better shape. Kobe would last longer. Shaq was kind of physically falling apart. For the first few years after that, though, because Shaq joined, Pat Riley, D. Wade, Antoine Walker, an all-star team down in Miami and won a title. I had to eat a dirt sandwich, right? Like, even though I knew I was on the right side of the argument that Kobe over time, when he got his next great teammate, Pau Gasol eventually, that Kobe would last longer and have just an incredibly redeemable career. But in the short term, I looked like I didn't know what I was talking about. So I like when I make a prediction, like I always thought, the gratification for a stand-up comic, you tell a joke, people react, and instantly if it bombs or it hits. You could be a comedy writer, your work doesn't get on screen for 4 years. So it's almost like I prefer, like, here's a line, here's a prediction. In 2 days, we'll know if I'm right. So I don't believe that Michigan is beating people because of the sign stealing. I don't think it hurts, but teams generally change signals more than once in a season, especially before big rivalry games. If you're on a big national TV game, teams know that game's taped. So like let's say you're Ohio State and you play Penn State or Wisconsin, Camp Randall, Saturday night, national TV, you know those signals are being gleaned by all the other schools. Programs all the time change signals, especially after they've been on a big national TV game or right before you play a huge rival, Ohio State, Michigan to Ohio State. So, but I don't think that's the reason. I think Michigan was beating everybody in the conference except Ohio State. And then they got J.J. McCarthy. And if you go look at Andrew Luck at Stanford and Colin Kaepernick in the NFL and his San Diego job, when Jim gets the quarterback, he goes from beating people to crushing them. It takes him a while to find the right quarterback because it takes everybody in the NFL a while to find the right quarterback. Look at Andy Reid. How many years did he coach before he got Patrick Mahomes, right? Belichick got fired in Cleveland, had Bledsoe in New England. Bledsoe got hurt. Then he got Tom Brady. It's hard to find the right quarterback. Nick Saban at Alabama, for years and years, it was all about defense. It wasn't until the end, in the last 8 years, he's been getting the Tuas, like the really high-end quarterbacks. For years and years, it was just kind of college quarterbacks. So it took a while at Michigan to get the right quarterback, and I think that's why over the last 2 years, they're thumping people. But we'll know if they can thump Ohio State and Ann Arbor. Well, we know they're not stealing calls now. We know they weren't using bat signals against Penn State, and they didn't have to throw a pass and dominated the Nittany Lions. And if they clobber Maryland, which they're a 21-point favorite, we'll know if they dominate and decimate Ohio State. It's not the signs. It's the 19 NFL players on the roster, which is what I suspect. Now, Buckeye fans thinks it's they, and maybe it's justified. We'll find out. They think it's just the sign stealing. And that when you take that away, that, Michigan is just very ordinary. I do not think that is the case. So my prediction is Michigan wins out until the playoff, and that the sign stealing, it certainly didn't hurt. And I'm sure there's a play or two over the course of a game that it could help. But I don't think that's why they beat Ohio State. But I could be very wrong, and we'll find out in a couple of weeks. I like those kind of predictions. Time for another week of the VLTED Challenge. We're excited to be using the VLTED app. It's VLTED. It's a place where you can store your sports predictions, participate in cash prize pools without an entry fee. Make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool, chance to win $2,500 in cash prizes. All you have to do is answer the questions with confidence points, walk away with some serious cash. You receive an exclusive challenge also from me on the VLTED app, VLTED, the VLTED app. Same stakes this week. First place, $2,000. Winner gets to compete against me, one-on-one challenge. VLTED offers free pools, cash prizes every single day. Congrats to last week's winner, Nathan Geiger, who won $2,000. You'll receive an exclusive challenge from me on the VLTED app, VLTED, the VLTED app. Let's bring in Jason McIntyre for another week of the VLTED Challenge. Last week, I went 2-1 and cut J-Mac's lead down to 5 units. First 1 to 50 wins the VLTED Challenge. All right, J-Mac, Seahawks at the Rams. I like Seattle to beat Los Angeles. I cannot see the Rams, a rebuilding roster, sweeping Pete Carroll. I'm going to risk 9 units here. You accept my VLTED challenge?
Give me a break. I will take McVay all day against Pete Carroll. He has covered his last 6 against Carroll, 10-4 against the spread in their last 14 meetings. For whatever reason, Pete Carroll just gets put in a body bag by McVay all the time. Stafford back. Remember, they won that season opener, which surprised both of us, without Cooper Kupp. Now you got Kupp and Puka. Stafford back. I mean, listen, I don't love the Rams in any capacity, but I like them this week. Give me the Rams.
Okay, I'm going to take the Vikings to cover 2.5 against the Broncos. Yeah. I'm risking 11 units here.
You going heavy?
Accept my challenge?
Wow, the Pastronaut. I know you love him. Listen, Josh Dobbs a lot to like, but I've got to back your guy, Sean Payton here. He's on a roll right now. Their formula is not difficult, right? Run the football. Play defense. Don't make any mistakes. Now, I know Russell Wilson struggles against the blitz. The Vikings blitz more than any team in the league with Flores. However, I do think we see Dobbs struggle for the first time. I like the Denver linebackers. They're strong defending running quarterbacks. So I think Dobbs is bottled up. And I just don't know. Now, if Justin Jefferson's back, I'm probably on the losing side. I don't know how much of a factor he'll be coming off the IR, but I will take the Broncos and your buddy, Mr.
I'll take the
Sean
Eagles Monday night to beat Kansas City, risking 7 units here. Why do you accept my challenge?
You're giving me, what was Andy Reid off a bye, 21-3 in the regular season? Patrick Mahomes at home. I think the better defense in the Chiefs. They're playing out of their mind. I think this is a Kelsey game. If you look at the Eagles, they really struggle defending tight ends. Look no further than that Dallas game. The big question, of course, is can Hurts get the job done on the road like he did in the Super Bowl? Came up a little bit short. I'll go Kansas City to win at home.
All right, last one, NFL future. I'm going to take the Steelers to make the playoffs with Deshaun Watson out. I like their chances. Best division. I don't think anybody makes the wild card in the AFC East or the AFC South. I'm risking 5 units. Why do you accept my challenge?
Well, no AFC East. I guess you're selling Jets and Bills. Probably smart, but no, I can't ride with Kenny Pickett. I've seen enough. Coming into the season, we both like Pittsburgh a lot. Pickett's just been a colossal disappointment. Sure, they've been able to run against the Packers, last week. I don't see them running the football on Cleveland this weekend. I don't really buy Pickett as a starter. I think he's a stopgap until they get someone else. I think Pittsburgh misses the playoffs. They may finish above 500, but I think they'll miss the playoffs.
So there you go. They're locked into the vaulted app, VLTED, and make sure to enter the Colin Cowherd pool totally free. First place, $2,000. Remember the vaulted app, VLTED. The QR code is right on the screen.